but basically, I'm just going to do an overview of keyword research. It's just something a little, well, kind of covering a broad overview of the process that you use when working with clients, etc. So if I just move on, it's a lot of SEO is focused on Google, and it's like, why are we focusing on Google search? Well, they have so much data stored on everyone as users. So if you go shopping on online, it tracks you. It tracks your phone. It knows where you're going. It tracks you with Google Maps, through GPS, etc. And it stores all this data. So it is a huge place where people go to look for websites or information on the internet. Now, obviously, I made a note here that for any kind of privacy, for a bit more online privacy, you may want to look at engines like DuckDuckGo that allegedly don't track you as far as, say, what Google does. So how does that look? Well, basically on all devices, Google has a 93% market share in the UK. So you can see, compared to the other search engines, this is why we kind of focus on Google. But we take that a little bit further because obviously Google tells us that it's a mobile first indexing, and that's the best practice. It's telling us that, it predominantly uses the mobile version of a website, and that's what's crawling a smartphone agent, and that's what they use for ranking the mobile first index. It says they create a mobile friendly website. So it recommends a responsive web design all aimed at your mobile phone. And following on from the search engine market share, they've got a 97% market share in search engines when it comes to mobile devices. So really, we kind of focus on that. So it's all a case of like, what keywords do people use? When it comes to your services, your products, we want to kind of jump in there and think. Now, typically, they used to narrow it down to 3, maybe 4 categories of keywords, from transactional, commercial, information, etc. But we really kind of drill down into keyword research. So we get your transactional, which is people looking for what you're offering. Then you've got your information side of things. We've also got keywords that are, say, branded. So if they're typing in your business thing, because oh yeah, I know so-so with health coach, for example, then they're going to type in your business name and you want to be coming up for that. Also, long-tail keywords are very popular. They usually a string of maybe 3, 4 or more words. But we've also got geolocation keywords, where it may be, say, for example, looking for a plumber Manchester, a plumber London, and that kind of thing. So they're like a modification of a keyword. But we also made a note here, because you've also got to really focus on the search intent of the user. What are they actually looking for? What's the information that your website is going to answer their query when they search on Google? But in that, we also want to include entities in your, say, content and keyword research. And entities will be a known thing or a place, something on them, like a known person, etc. So we can include this, and this is all aimed at organic search. Obviously, this is what we're focusing on. But then on top of that, we go a little bit deeper, on a deeper level, where you may use things such as also asked, which gives a lot of questions that people ask, popular questions in Google search. The auto suggest of Google, when you start typing in what you're looking for, it'll come up with a bunch of suggestions under the search bar. So you may want to consider some of them. Any related keywords that will be at the bottom of Google search after you've searched what you want, it says recommendations. We also do something that we started adding, is something called trigger words. Now, this is getting probably more technical, but trigger words are kind of associated keywords that are known in Google's databases. And we just started to roll this out ourselves, and including that into content and into online profiles, even LinkedIn, etc., because it's relating you, your business, to these known associated like words. NLP, natural language processing, that's something Google uses on your web page, for example, it expects to see. And then obviously competitors, whoever your competitors are, we want to look at their keywords, see what they're ranking for, and have they got keywords that you haven't. And at the end of the day, we just get all this. So finding all this information is great, but how do we do it? Well, we just use keyword tools. There's a bunch of tools here that you could use, and we basically just get all the data from all these different data sources. Now, Google Ads is a known database with known monthly searches that you can reference to. And we pull all those keywords in, but also we use all these different tools. Between them, you'll end up with a massive pool of in-depth keyword research. And once you've got that, it's, we have to sort that out. So you'll end up with a massive spreadsheet. And on that spreadsheet, you'll have all these keywords, but we want to kind of condense them. And once we sift through them and put them into, say, clusters or topics or silos, there's a lot of different names for this technique. But we'll have a primary keyword, and then we'll have supporting articles, and you'll put them into categories. So in this example, this is some work that I did briefly for some of you may know. But basically, we want to theme the website, and we want to theme it in accordance to your market that you're in your niche. So with this example, the homepage would be all themed around wills, trusts, and estates. But then the service pages would roll out from, say, will writing, property and trust, lasting power of attorney, etc. And under that, we have categories with all supporting posts. And you have to we go in and we sift through all this and we put it in an order. And basically, this creates a content plan. So then what you've got there is maybe 18 months worth of content where you can post on your social media, you can create blog posts for your website, and it gives you a real theme of building your business, your name and your domain name associated with that. But all this we take into account is search volume, the relevance. We do look at cost per click, which I know is more Susie's territory, but it's a good reference point for knowing what keywords go where and sorting out your primary keywords. So one way of time saving and sorting all these clusters out is just using some free clustering tools. Okay, thank you. There are paid versions there, but it helps put these in some sort of order. But always remember, if you ever go down this route, always have the human eye and your human intuition on what keywords go where. So how does that look on your website? Well, it looks like this. That's going to be mywebsite.com. It's going to be themed around wills, trusts, and estates. Then services would be will writing, property and trust, lasting power of attorney, wills and probate, etc. But underneath there, you would have your supporting posts. So say will writing, for example, you'd have mywebsite.com/will writing. And it would go on and on into these categories and supporting posts. So obviously there's other SEO factors to consider, such as optimizing your content, having all your call to actions in place, your website speed, not a ranking factor, but it is good UX, good user experience, what Google expects. Also your web page schema, and then the old famous backlinks to these web pages. So typically to start the campaign, this is how it would look when we start a project. You'll first want to maybe 4 months, you're just laying on the foundation, using these keywords and theming out your website. Then you get early positive results up to maybe month 7. And then by month 12, this is where it really picks up pace and gets going. And what does that look like? Well, this case study just shows worked with this client for 12 months. We took them from 0 to 1,500 words organic keywords found online with their presence, and brought in a monthly kind of 1,000 clicks a month to their website. And then we tracked there through WhatsApp messages and WhatsApp calls using other analytics. So that is everything that I really had to share with you. So I'll try and stop sharing. If there is time for questions, I'll happily answer, but if not, that's just an overview of keyword research.
Brilliant, Pete. Bang on time as well. Very impressive. That was fantastic. So much involved. I don't think you realise how much you can actually do to find out about keywords and what your competitors are doing. Has anybody got any questions for Pete? We have got time for a couple of questions. I've actually got one. Can you give an example of what a long tail keyword is and like why that would be used?
Yeah, I mean, an obvious example would be, say, if you go to like also ask like questions, like that might be deemed as more a long tail keyword. And then it's so how much does SEO cost? But
Right.
you have to put that into you have to look into the research of that to see, does that warrant its own web page, or is that something that should just be included on the under the primary keyword, let's say for SEO services. I mean, that might not be the best example, but that is, that is where you have to draft all this out and get all the data to sift
Yeah.
through and find what is, what is that long tail going to be on its own as a supporting post or included in the content.
Brilliant. Thanks, Pete. It's amazing how much you can extract from that, really, and how much is behind it all. Really interesting. Thank you. Did anybody? Oh, David and Susie. Not sure who put their hand up first.
Go on, Sue.
David. Oh, Susie's pointing to you, David. You go, then we'll
All
have
right, okay.
Susie.
I was just backing Pete up there, really. I think when it comes to, it's just like a maths equation. You find out what people are searching for to find your site, and then you just make sure your content is fresh and up to date about that. But there are quick wins you can do with SEO, and I think that's what Pete's sort of touching on there.
Mm.
If you just go for Chinese medicine therapies, for example, for yourself,
Yeah.
Marie, that's going to be quite competed for. But if you were doing something like, right, if you could take one specific medicine that you've had real success with and said, right, I'm going to write a blog or a piece on this that says, right, this piece of medicine is amazing for energy. And because somebody searched for how do I boost my energy, you would title it, well, how do I boost my energy? Well, you use this type of medicine, and you write the blog on that piece of it. And that will supersede generally a lot of what I call generic content. And if you just think about it this way, the more appropriate your content is to the question that's being asked, the more likely Google as a receptionist is going to bring it up to the top to make sure that it matches it. And Pete, with the structure in place with what Pete provides, and then obviously we can support it with the actual build and the architecture of the site. And then you've got Susie as a blend where you've basically got quick win with Susie, long term with Pete, and then us with the architecture of your site in between. It's kind of like,
and the PPC and SEO work so well together because it means you take up even more space on the front page.
Yeah, and content from Joanne as well. So you've got like a whole project
I've got a
on this
perfect package.
On this call, yeah.
Perfect package.
Why do you think I'm adding all your services onto my website?
Brilliant. Thank you, David.
Yeah.
Well explained. Susie, did you want to ask Pete something or make a comment?
Hey, one thing that people say a lot of when it comes to SEO is having good, reliable, trustworthy backlinks. Now, I know you get a lot of companies out there that offer you like 5,000 backlinks in this, that, and I know you don't touch them with a barge pole because they're crap, basically.
Yeah.
Is there a reliable source that you go to, or is it just a lot of doing guest blogging for other people and things like that? So is there not necessarily a quick win, but is there a way you can get quite a few quite quickly? Is there like a central source you can go to?
There is, yes. Sometimes it depends on how big your budget is. So, like, there's one guy I'm connected with on LinkedIn, for example, who deals with press releases. But his press releases that his service uses gets into a lot of the UK national newspapers. But you're talking 2.5K per press release, and a lot of his clients basically have like 2 or 3 press releases a month. So obviously, not everyone's going to have the budget for that because that is a huge amount. But obviously, off the back of that, you're getting kind of reliable, authoritative, trusted. I'm saying this with a pinch of salt, backlinks from these press releases in, like, say, UK publications. But that's going to feed off other people then picking up your article and linking to your website, let's say. I mean, trusted sources, you can't get any more trusted than Google itself, because Google trusts itself. So if you get a link from Google, let's say, that's a quick way to go out, get a link from there, and get that to your website. You know, so that's one way of doing it. But it all comes down to the backlink strategies and how your budget is fixed for supporting all that. Yeah, guest posting. I mean, to answer your question, is there anywhere that I specifically go? Yes, there is, but that technique that I'll use to make it a more budget-friendly approach uses known places, say like Amazon, Google, etc., and I'll feed backlinks to them, which then go to your website. It filters out a lot of that. But yeah, places like Fiverr have some really nasty,
I get
spammy
emails
links.
every day offering it. I mean, David, you said about, you know, are they as important with content being massive? I actually had one blog which had probably generated most of my backlinks because, and this is where, I mean, I saw Joanne's newsletter that came out this morning, having images and things like that on your blogs. There's one image that I created with just a few stats to do with video content and image content on social media, generated so many backlinks because people were referring to my diagram in their blog. And going out and guest blogging for other people, because obviously you then get your bio on the bottom.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
but yeah, good content can actually create the backlinks at the same time.
Yeah. I think
so many. So
guys, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm really sorry to interrupt, but we need to move on very shortly. So if there's one final point, Pete, you want to make about that, and then we can move on to the next bit of the meeting. Sorry, I know it's all useful stuff, but I'm just thinking about time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. Just very quickly, when it comes to backlinks, what we kind of do is like we rank images in Google. So image will create a backlink to your content. Same with video. If it's off YouTube, that's a backlink from there. If you publish PDFs, all this kind of content, infographics can all be posted out on different sites, which create backlinks back, and it's all relevant. So yeah, that's just what I'm going to quickly say.